is an integral part of our civilization. People use energy for cooling, heating, lighting, cooking, transportation, entertainment, and communication, and for a variety of other applications.
For millions of years, humans existed in harmony with nature. But the Industrial Revolution and the exploration and development of energy to fuel that revolution began a period of ever-growing fossil fuel combustion that resulted in adverse effects.
And most of these resources are non-renewable. What this means is that once they are gone, they are gone.
People use a lot of energy, rely heavily on fossil fuels, such as coal and oil. And there is limited amount of these energy. And as nature resources diminish, so is the quality of it.
The fact is that we are getting closer and closer to the empty market. We are virtually on the edge, losing our ability to save both ourselves and earthly home. But the question is, how conscious are we? And are we willing to pay the real price?
The Earth is a garden of energy. It's available in many sources, yet it is that same energy that have had enormous costs to our health, environment, and even national security. The demand for energy has continued to grow throughout the world. Its consumption had increased to more than 400 quadrillion BTUs from 207 quadrillion BTUs in 1970. Most of this energy is derived from power plants which utilizes fossil fuels such as coal, natural gas or petroleum in generating electricity. These fossil fuel power plants are designed on a large scale for continuous operation. In many countries, such plants provide most of the electrical energy used, and Philippines was no exception. Tayug State Power Incorporated, located in Villanueva, Misamis Oriental, is one of the coal-burning power plants that has stirred controversies regarding its establishment.
The Tayug coal-fired power plant is what is producing about 210 megawatts here in Mindanao, particularly in Villanueva. So as an effect, some are afraid of the possible dangers we have had. Yes, because of respiratory illness, and according to them, some environmentalists say that it is the dirtiest source of power. However, the coal-fired power plant or mineral power plant we have in Villanueva is using the state-of-the-art. So with the data shows that even the minimal requirements, they are even at the minimal one, which is practically we can say that it is safer.
There are many environmentalists that were against, but there were also other environmentalists that is for. You see, I was tasked to do the social acceptability. The meaning of social acceptability is that whether the people from in Cagayan de Oro, a sample of people from Cagayan de Oro and a sample of people from the area in Villanueva would be accepting the project. Is it acceptable to them? No? So the acceptability survey was done, and you know the acceptability was quite high.
A coal power plant consists of three main processes: fuel processing, feed water heating, and boiler operation. In the fuel processing, coal is prepared for use by crushing and pulverizing the rough coal into a fine powder. This powder is mixed with air and blown into the boiler for combustion. In feed water heating, millions of liters of purified water are pumped through tubes inside the boiler. The process of boiler operation then starts. Intense heat from the boiler turns water into steam, which spins the turbine to create electricity. The steam is condensed back to water for another cycle. Economy-wise, Stayag might be well off. It has generated a steady supply of power, sustained economy, increased employment, and revenues in the local and national government. However, it's common knowledge that coal power plants have been one of the largest contributors in pollution and other problems. Most common are respiratory illnesses, air pollution, exposure to acid rain, and biodegradation of the nearby environment.
Now, what are the drawbacks in terms of environmental conditions, or in terms of the impact of the project environmentally? There were a lot. One is really in some way pollution. You can look at that because they are using coal. The other one is maybe it will contribute to global warming.
Global warming. It is one of the main problems of energy consumption. It is an increase in the Earth's temperature due to the use of fossil fuels and other industrial processes, leading to a buildup of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, sulfur hexafluoride, hydrofluorocarbons, and perfluorocarbons.
The greenhouse effect works like a blanket that warms the Earth. This makes Earth possible for humans and other living things to live in. However, too much of these greenhouse gases have already been produced already, leaving the Earth warmer than it should have been, thus the global warming.
In February 16, 2005, an international agreement between industrialized countries had come into force, aiming to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases. This is the Kyoto Protocol.
Yes, in this Kyoto Protocol, all those GHGs, or the greenhouse gases emitting countries through the development, they are required to address this through this carbon sink program.
Unfortunately, by 2012, the protocol will end. Countries that ratified this agreement are falling short of the minimum